Tonight, I'm going to talk to you about the biggest truth I've experienced this past year as your mayor. When we are united as a community, good things happen. Our work today can build a more resilient and more vibrant community for tomorrow. My colleagues on the City Council and I are rallying around the common values of Santa Monica. We are an inclusive community. We believe in protecting our environment for future generations. We strive to foster the well-being of everyone. As we look to the year ahead, I'd like to share with you 20 areas of focus for the City of Santa Monica as we endeavor to protect and strengthen these values. There's no denying the magnitude of homelessness when 13,000 people lose their housing every month in Los Angeles County. We're doing a lot. It's not enough. We're investing in more people and more resources across the police department and in our libraries, parks, and public spaces. And we're asking for the best ideas from everyone in this room. We must work together to help our most vulnerable. I and my fellow council members attended numerous community conversations in late 2017. We heard what key qualities our city manager should look for in our next police chief. We listened to personal experiences of crime reaching into our neighborhoods, and we're working hard to address the recent uptick. Between 2006 and 2016, collisions in Santa Monica resulted in a yearly average of 4 fatalities. Last year alone, that number was 9. Sweden, the birthplace of Vision Zero, has seen an 80% reduction in fatalities and now has the world's safest roads with only 3 deaths per 100,000 residents. In Santa Monica, 0 is the only acceptable number. $41.8 billion. That's the amount Metro is investing in new transportation infrastructure as a result of Measure M. In the next 40 years, subway and light rail will become the norm as we get around the county and our city. We already have a multimodal network, and we will continue to invest in infrastructure and local policies to be at the forefront of this cultural shift. As you just heard in the video, we have made great strides towards our water and carbon goals, but getting to carbon neutrality will not be easy, and each of us will have to do our part. To learn how, I invite you to join us for our Climate Fest on May 19th to kick off our new Climate Action and Adaptation Plan. Since 1994, 38% of all multifamily housing constructed here in Santa Monica has been deed restricted to affordable income levels. That's 4,500 units for low to moderate income individuals and families. Yet rising rents threaten to displace too many of our residents. This is one of the great challenges before us because our character and culture comes from our people. We must protect our existing affordable housing stock and invest in new housing inventory that can keep Santa Monica a reality for future generations. We've made significant strides for our youngest residents, yet 1/3 are still not ready for kindergarten. We are focused on closing the achievement gap by investing in early childhood education. Because in Santa Monica, we believe every single child should have an equal start. 87% of adults aged 65 and older want to stay in their current home and community as they age. Our multimodal city with access to amenities and services makes Santa Monica ideal to age in place. We must continue to think of our senior community as we develop future infrastructure, programs, and housing. The Well-Being Index indicates that residents in the 90404 zip code have the lowest life satisfaction and the highest economic worry. We need to dig deeper to understand and meaningfully support our neighbors. We also know 1/3 of our residents report feeling they have little influence on city decision-making. That's a rallying cry for us to create new ways for the public to be heard and to get involved. Speaking of our well-being, in Santa Monica, I'm proud to say we celebrate our diversity and embrace our differences despite the messages coming from the White House. For instance, we contributed funds to help Dreamers re-enroll, oppose Trump's travel bans in court, and along with cities and states representing half of the U.S. population, committed to the carbon reduction goals in the Paris Climate Accord. And I have to say this, I said this last year, I said it again, with all due respect to Nat Travis, Mr. Santa Monica, in the interest of gender equity, it's about time we have a Ms. Santa Monica. And if we don't have one at next year's event, I'm gonna be out there leading the picket line, so it's a call to action. So we're beginning our work on the Pico Neighborhood Plan and retaining the character of our single-family neighborhoods. Our city has a strong sense of place, but how do we continue to ensure paper planning comes to life on our streets? Through strong policies and broad community input, we can make great places, not just buildings. This was one of the primary topics at last week's U.S. Conference of Mayors. Every city in the world needs to be prepared for disasters, both natural and man-made, including ours. Santa Monica has a strong emergency preparedness program, but it counts on you to do your part. Be vigilant, have a plan so together we can be a resilient community. Also, every city needs to communicate critical information to the public, yet the abundance of media sources can make it complicated. We've challenged our staff to find ways to cut through the noise to make sure the public has immediate, easy access to city information. We want you to know what's going on and how to get involved. If you don't know already, follow the city on social media or sign up for the SAMO News newsletter. Santa Monica has some great outdoor public space, and we're working on adding more. Soon, we will welcome 12 acres at Airport Park and a great new sports field at the Civic Center. And we invite you to be part of the process as we begin envisioning our great park at the airport when it closes after 2028. There are 850 businesses participating in our Buy Local program who hire locally and actively support the community. We make a collective difference every day when we support local Santa Monica businesses. So we must recognize the challenges of operating a small business and do more to foster entrepreneurship. We've had the great privilege of meeting 28 startups this year through Hack the Beach. And this year's winning team, Project Minder, is here with us. They developed a tool designed to help first responders identify unused bed spaces in hospitals for the homeless. We must continue to nurture this kind of synergy with our local tech partners. Like a skilled carpenter or a fine tailor, we must measure and measure again for the best results. City Hall is committed to making data-informed decisions. Rigorous efforts have been made to measure our outcomes to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. There are profound and rapid changes to our economy in the way we work and how consumers prefer experiences over goods. The changes require us to be nimble and responsive. We know, for instance, that 79% of Americans say they now make purchases online. For a community with some of the highest brick-and-mortar rents, we need to understand what this means for our local economy. It's the theme of tonight's event and the future we must prepare for. And in closing, look around this room. It's brimming with passion, expertise, and deep commitment to Santa Monica. Now shift your focus to the year ahead. How will we meet the challenges in 2018 and beyond as a united Santa Monica? If you watched the State of the Union this week, and you're even more confused by our national politics, know that, as I mentioned, just last week I was in Washington, D.C. for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Mayors, both Republican and Democrats, came together to discuss immigration, climate change, and economic opportunity, and all the other challenges cities across the United States face. Because mayors, we know that change happens locally, and the City Council and I are prepared to partner with nonprofits, businesses, and residents, the entire community, to strengthen Santa Monica for today and for the future. Thank you for your partnership.